Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. Today we're talking about being a CEO and how it's different than being a leader. Now, through my research this week, I thought this would be a great topic to discuss with all my leaders out there watching these videos on a weekly basis. So let's dive right into it. Oh, also, the difference between a CEO and a leader and some things to expect when you become a CEO. We're gonna tackle that too. All right, so let's get right into it. So functional leaders, you have those in every company, right? And each department and team has someone in charge who's making sure everyone is working effectively and efficiently. But the buck stops at the CEO. People tend to envision the job of the CEO as the most invaluable position in the company. And while you can find a lot of fulfillment by taking on that role, you also have to understand that there are dramatic differences between your assumptions and the reality that you'll face. The skills you need are different. The expectations change. Now, while your experience as a leader is important and will serve you well, it really is just the starting point in a constant process of learning and personal development when you become a CEO, obviously. So here's some things, or here's what you can expect becoming a CEO. You'll realize that it's impossible to protect your team. Now, being a part of being a functional leader, I'll say that, protecting your team is part of your job. You know, you're protecting your team's morale and ideas, okay? You inspire, you mentor, and you protect. When you become a CEO, you'll quickly learn that there will be situations where you can't protect everyone. And I'm going to give you a great example. Back in 2014, there was a company that built their own front end and back end for their website, right? And to be honest, it was the wrong move. It was a poor decision on their part. The website was constantly crashing. They didn't have any basic e-commerce features for the customers, and they were diverting their attention from what they really wanted to do, which was create a great product and ensure that customers had a top-notch buying experience from the website. The founders of the company made the decision to start using a web platform service to support their company online. Now, of course, the in-house engineering team did not like that and they disagreed with the choice. However, as leaders, they really felt the need to push forward regardless of how the engineering team felt. And to be quite honest, it ended up being the right decision. And they're still using that platform to this day, and the change allowed them to scale, which is awesome. But it wasn't easy. Look, when push comes to shove, you have to be comfortable, or you have to be willing to make the hard decisions and be okay with doing what's best for the company instead of a single team. Sometimes it's like that. So the next thing is that you'll learn as a CEO is the importance of different leadership styles, right? Good leadership is all about recognizing where your blind spots are and where you're the strongest. CEOs have to take that assessment one step further. Being at the top means understanding your own leadership style and the different types of leaders around you. If you're unsure of your own style, you can use a tool like the DISC method. Now, I've used this, and it really works. It really gives you a breakdown and insight on the style, your style, based on a series of questions, of course. You must be totally honest. But if you answer honestly, it'll give you a breakdown of your style of leadership. Now, this DISC method, will help you figure it out, your style. And once you do, you'll begin to understand how you work best and how the people around you fit into that dynamic. Now, for me, my style is leading by influence. I'm comfortable with inspiring people, asking them questions and letting them come to conclusions on their own. But influence is by no means the only way to lead. Sometimes you just need to get things done. So you got to switch leadership or CEO style hats, right? You can't dive into a 30-minute discussion to get people on board sometimes. Sometimes you got to move right then. And then sometimes they may not agree. But at that point in the game, it doesn't matter. You have to tell them what to do, and they need to do it because you're telling them to right now. You know, now, I'm not as comfortable with that style or that type of leadership, but it's important for me and any CEO to realize when it makes sense to use it. The sooner you understand both your strengths and pitfalls of your leadership style and the leadership styles of those around you, the better your chances of success. The other thing you'll learn as a CEO is discovering how to use or understand your intuition. Now, leaders usually have a gut instinct about their situation. You may be interviewing someone or a potential hire or trying to make a difficult decision, but there's a little voice in the back of your head that will pipe up at certain times or at certain points. It's absolutely essential that you learn to trust your intuition. The problem is it's harder to do so when you become a CEO. It can seem awkward or uninformed to say, this is how I feel about it, rather than relying on cold hard data. But honestly, some of the worst decisions that many CEOs have made come from not listening to their intuition. Your intuition is not going to be right 100% of the time. But there's a reason why you get that feeling in your gut about a person or a situation. And when that happens, at the very least, you should be wise enough to explore that situation or why you have that gut feeling. Understanding these nuances is just a part of the transition from leadership to CEO. Truthfully, there will never be a time when you can look around, dust your hands, and think, that's it. I know everything I need to know. There's always a skill that you can be honing. One of those is learning how to thrive in differences that set you apart. Okay? All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really do appreciate you watching these videos and learning something to help make you better. As I always say, I'm a firm believer in iron sharpening iron. And if you feel like these videos are very productive and insightful to you, then please share these videos with people in your sphere of influence. Okay? Thank you again. And look, if you need some help with your leadership style or your development coaching, leadership development coaching, or maybe you need some team building training or diversity training, please drop me a line and let me know. I'll be more than happy to sit down with you and tailor make a plan that's going to be conducive for your success and your team's success. All right? And remember, great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?